All right, everybody, we are back. It's another episode of the Sports Clash. Rich Orleo here with your boy Chris Carey. Chris, how you doing, bud? I know the Orioles just lost our first game. How you doing?
Yeah, bring that up. I was doing well. I was trying to forget, but yeah, it was disappointing. 1-0 game. So, but
That's
still more baseball to be had.
yeah.
How you been?
You guys will be fine. You got Zach Eflin next game, right? Nobody's ever
We'll
hit.
see.
Yeah,
We'll see.
that's good. I'm rooting
Hopefully.
for you. I want this. I want this O's Yanks. I don't know actually if I want. It could test the friendship. We've
It definitely
survived.
could.
If we survived Raul Ibanez, we can survive this.
Out together on my birthday. I just remember you looking at me like,
I didn't even know how to react.
I don't even know if you knew how to talk shit at that point, but
It was
yeah, it was pretty brutal. We've survived worse, so
yeah.
I
That's
want it to happen. We've been owning you guys.
I know. That's also why I'm like, yeah, we probably match up better against the Royals. So I don't know. We'll see. But look, I mean, it's been a fun day of baseball. First day. I mean, so the Mets and Braves had an insane doubleheader on Monday.
Wild.
That first game, game one, just back and forth. It's Lindor who gets the last laugh, and the Mets win.
MVP. MVP.
I mean, not over Otani, but yeah, I mean, he's had an unbelievable season. He's going to get votes. He deserves votes. It's been an incredible year. I think we ripped him in the Mets. We ripped the Mets plenty. I think we ripped him early on in the season. It's
So sorry.
if you're just watching them and they just keep hitting, and it's like, how are these guys like Jesse Winker? I laughed at that trade.
Dude, me too. We made fun of it, but since May, they've been one of the best teams in baseball, and like you just can't beat them in a series, and it's fun to watch. Fortunately, they don't have like Alvarez in the playoffs and their whole team, but I think they should be good going forward with this fun bunch.
No, it is fun. It's fun. Like I was driving during that game and I was listening to the fan and
You listen to it on the radio too? That guy was losing his mind. It was
Evan
great.
Roberts was losing his mind, and he's been one of my favorite radio personalities for a while. I don't I don't love him with Tiki, but that was entertaining. Just live reacting to that roller coaster where they get the lead. They did nothing against Spencer Schwellenbach the whole game. Then they get the lead uh late, and then Edwin Diaz comes in and blows it.
That gets the
And then
win.
Lindor hits the go ahead home run in the top of the ninth, and Diaz comes back out and shuts it down. Just like the storylines through that and everything, the Mets Braves rivalry, that was a classic regular season game with so much on the line. That was fun. And it led into Tuesday, which has been just a blast. I mean, on SoBet, we posted two plays earlier today, and we were up 2.1 units, went 2 and 0. Sorry, 2.2 units, went 2 and 0. It was Tigers' first five money line because I bet on Scooble, who I've been betting on and been winning. The dude he won the pitching triple crown this year. I feel like nobody's talking about that at all. Like, I know
Except
it's
for
not,
you, he was your good last week.
he might even be my good this week. I mean, it's just he was dominant against the Astros, who are the playoff team for the last few years. They almost came back in the ninth, but Tigers got the win there, and the Tigers could really upset them. They threw out a lineup today that was just like, who I we play fantasy.
Greatest text. Greatest text.
I know all of these guys. I took it because I'm like Scooble. I don't care. First five, give me the lead. And I look at the lineup and I'm like, oh my God, what did I just bet on? They
I
had two
know.
I didn't even know. I play fantasy baseball. I know everybody. I know minor leaguers. Like we do this. Like we know what we're
Pretty
talking.
religiously.
Just
Yeah.
what is going on? But then boom, they get three runs off Framber Valdez, and that was it. So that was
Sense that makes not.
yeah, no. And then the other play, I went with a Yurfie Mets Brewers, and it was me as a Yankee fan. I've watched Luis Severino struggle in playoff games because he can't control his emotions. He gets hyped up and he gets wild and he doesn't miss bats. And that's exactly what happened. And the Mets came back and won, but the Brewers put up two on him in the first inning, and that cashed our Yurfie. So that was a plus 116 win and a plus 106 win. And so since we won, I did place one more bet tonight. It was the Padres -1.5. That game's on right now as we speak. They're up 2-0 already. Tatis two-run homer. So we could have a real big day here. I'm excited about it. And we've been dominating. I mean, it's been our best stretch since we joined SoBet. And look, a lot of that has to do with the NFL. We're doing really well,
Yes,
but
sir.
it's just been our consistency. Your college football picks have been hitting since week one. You've been on it. Ohio State's. I mean, with Ohio State playing like they are right now, it's helping. It's helping for
It's
sure.
kind of fun. It just kind of just carpet bomb the sports book and come out ahead. It's kind of nice.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, no, we've been crushing and up tremendous and excited for the playoffs, excited for more NFL football.
Yeah. So in the last month, last 30 days, as of October 1st, we're 52, 43, and 1 on SoBet, plus 12 units. So $100 better is up $1,200 over the last 30 days if you're taking all of our plays on SoBet. We're putting out free plays on TikTok, but we have our SoBet sign up link where we appreciate anyone who signs up through that link. It benefits us big time, but look, any support we really appreciate. It's just we're doing the fact that we're doing all this, it's been a blast.
Good
And
fun.
yeah, and look, all we want to do is build bankroll with you guys and win money and have fun. We had baseball first day of the playoffs, and it's been fun. And we obviously had week 4 of the NFL now in the books. And in our head-to-heads that we post, you're just crushing me. In our three,
Sorry.
we take 3 picks head-to-head against the spread on Sunday mornings, and you are now 8-4, and I'm 4-8. You're just crushing, but hey, I mean, it's good for us, good for the pod. Like, in the NFL, all of our plays on SoBet total were 30 and 29, up 4.5 units after 4 weeks. So we're building bankroll. We're winning you over a unit each week, and that's how you build it, man. I mean, that's what we do. We're not gonna. Some of these, some of these guys go build a bankroll on these like lottery ticket parlays, and it's silly. We're
Right.
gonna stay consistent. We're not gonna take crazy risks. We're not gonna lose you a ton of money. We're gonna win if you keep
Yeah,
following.
we're the bond market as opposed to the stocks here. But I'm not going to put out anything that I'm not going to take personally, and I'm
Yeah,
not personally going to throw $1,000 on anything. So, safely you can, whatever your unit size is. Usually it's pretty small for me, but it's going to end up, paying out dividends if you go with the percentages, and that's where we've been nailing it. So,
yeah, absolutely. So it's been fun. So NFL Week 4 in the books. It was a fun one. My Jets embarrassed themselves again. Uh, yeah. Man, anybody who went to that game sitting in the cold rain all day to watch the Jets score 9 points and lose to Bo Nix, who had 60 total yards passing, I think. It's just abomination. I don't want to spend a lot of time on them. They have the London game this week. We'll see. Look, if Rodgers is healthy, they'll be fine. They'll be in it. The defense is good. They got some things to figure out, but that was a mess.
it was probably one of the worst coaching jobs on both sides I've ever seen. So,
It was disgusting. Disgusting.
moving on, let's go to our picks.
Yeah, let's go to our picks. So the big one that we had, so we both took this one. So we put 2 units on it on SoBet, and it was our big winner of the week. Bengals -4.5. The final score, Bengals 34, Panthers 24. This was kind of a perfect storm of we got the spread that low because the Panthers were riding high off their first win of the season, and Andy Dalton looked like he changed the offense a bit. Meanwhile, the Bengals are dealing with injuries on the offensive line to their offense. Joe Burrow hasn't looked good. Bengals come limping in at 0-3. It was just a perfect storm where the Bengals were not losing this game, and they handled them pretty easily. 10-point win. It was nice to see. And as Bengals are a team that we picked before the season too, it was just nice to see some life out of the Bengals.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it was nice to see some life out of Joe Burrow and some passion from this team as well. They distributed the ball pretty well. It was a little bit close to start, and it was looking like maybe this was, Andy Dalton's going to take over the NFL pretty soon. But, the Bengals were due, and there was enough that we saw against the Commanders, i.e., the long bomb to Jamar Chase, like that just said that this team isn't done. Like they're not cooked. It's not time to rebuild. They need to re-sign guys. Ultimately, I think their two running backs actually showed out pretty well in this game. Chase Brown I don't love him because I have shares of Zach Moss, but they're sharing the ball well and they're getting equal target shares and they're both pretty effective. The big thing is pass protection for Joe Burrow going forward, and hopefully getting the wide receivers going because up till now, I think tight ends are pretty much what this offense was week 1 through 3, and now they're getting back to what we expect from the Bengals. And I think this was in a deflated line because of how Carolina had played the week before. But they are who they are. Like you're not going to change a whole culture in 1 week by inserting one guy. It takes time and to build rapport. And there's young guys on that team and there's old guys on that team, and they got to find a common ground and get on the field a little bit more together before I really believe in them being a breakaway team or a team that I can really trust taking with any confidence within a touchdown's worth of points. So yeah, that was a good outcome for Cincinnati, and it was just I didn't expect it to be this high scoring, to be honest. But yeah, I'm happy for Andy Dalton. He got a little bit of revenge, and the Bengals also got the win that they much needed.
Absolutely. I mean, 58 total points was definitely not expected, but Chase Brown had a huge day, like you mentioned. I mean, they split 50-50, 15 carries to Brown, 15 carries to Moss, but Brown
Right.
had 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. Moss had 50 yards. I think the big difference maker now is having T. Higgins back healthy in that offense. He got 10 targets from Burrow. He had 6 catches, 60 yards. With him, you have another threat out wide to take the defense's eyes off of Chase, and that's huge. But yeah, they look better, and the Panthers look, their defense is bad. They're not a very talented team. Andy Dalton can keep them in games and keep them respectable, and that's what they need right now. Maybe Rice Young will figure something out, but it's been a disaster. I don't. Yeah,
I
I'm not.
don't know. I think he needs a change of scenery already. It's early to call because I think it's tough to really move on from that guy. But you know, I think it's kind of done. But we'll see.
Yeah. So moving on, we picked another game together, but this time we were on opposite ends. I took the Steelers -2.5. You took the Colts +2.5. Final score: Colts 27, Steelers 24. Joe Flacco.
Flacco.
I wasn't betting off against Flacco. I was betting against Anthony Richards eventually making mistakes. Um, but ended up that he got hit, got hurt, and that hurt me because Flacco did what Dalton did with the Panthers, and that's just that veteran presence, a career quarterback, like career NFL quarterback. These guys are just you put them in with any offense, and they just know they can run it. And
Yeah, they know how to get guys to buy in. They know how to get guys to believe in them. And yeah, it was emotional roller coaster when Flacco went in and out for like one play. I was Flacco, it was great. But yeah, no, Jonathan Taylor and the rest of the Colts offense played pretty well in this one, and I just kind of knew that the Steelers bubble would pop at some point. I expected it to be Richardson that would do it, but I was okay with Flacco doing it. And finally Michael Pittman shows up with a huge game, and the Steelers kind of show who they are. They made a little bit of a comeback at the end of the game, but ultimately they weren't really in control of this one like they were in control of the previous games.
no, it was. I mean, when the Colts scored some early points, I mean, the Colts scored 14 points in the first quarter. I don't think the Steelers had given up more than 17 points in a game yet. So that was kind of like a shock right out of the gate. Um, I mean, my whole thing was just that Steelers defense was gonna wreck Anthony Richardson all day, and they ended up, we got hurt, and then it hurt us because it hurt me because then Flacco got it done. And then Flacco came in, Taylor got room too, and he looked great. I think he got hurt. I don't know what his status is next week. Same with Richardson. I think Richardson's supposed to be back. but I mean, it's almost like similar
Do
in that,
you want him back?
yeah, like the Colts are not the Panthers. The Colts are a
Right.
little bit more respectable team, and they actually have a shot at outside shot at the playoffs. So that's a situation worth monitoring. I think everybody wants to see Richardson, see what he can do, but I don't know. I
I
mean,
want to see Flacco.
Flacco really might be a better option for them. You saw what he did with the Browns last year. The Browns would be a better team right now if they had Joe Flacco and not Deshaun Watson.
100%, especially with the two wide receivers that they have now too. But yeah, no, my thought process on this was if you have a dynamic defense that's going to be able to get after the quarterback, how do you compete with it? You run right at it. And that's I kind of bet on Jonathan Taylor and Richardson's escapability, and was happy with the outcome being Flacco passing down the field and Pittman having a big game and Taylor being kind of just steady throughout the whole thing. But that was my thought process. If you're going to blitz, if you're going to come at, if you're going to try to break the pocket, just run right at that defense for a couple downs and then they have to back off.
Right.
So, no team is really set up to do that, much like the Colts. There's a few other teams, but they're set up to run the ball right up the middle or right off the tackle and kind of get guys back on their heels on a defense, and that's what they did right away. So
Yeah.
it worked out, and I'd love to see a little more Joe Flacco. It'd be great.
I think
Is he
there's a
like
lot of
42,
like that.
41?
It's got to be 42, 41. I mean, it's crazy. I I thought he was done with the Jets 3 years ago. I thought he was toast, but like crazy.
Still getting up off the couch.
Yeah, that he is. And I mean, like I said, I just said, I think the Browns would be better off if they had kept Joe Flacco and started him over Deshaun Watson. But you took the Browns -1.5, and I tailed you on this one in the books. Raiders 20, Browns 16. This I don't really know how the Raiders slowed the Browns down this much. I think it's just Deshaun Watson is maybe the worst quarterback in the NFL right now. One of the worst starting quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, would you take him over Andy Dalton or Joe Flacco right now? I mean,
Absolutely not.
you're
Absolutely not. I mean, I think, sitting 2 years out of football or however long it was, like he just became an old man and his game just isn't working right now. He can't read defenses. The Raiders, in my opinion, are not set up for success right now. Lo and behold, Devontae wants out right after this game, and I just, you lose Brandon Jacobs. You've got a linebacker as your head coach who still probably wants to play himself. Like, I just didn't really believe in the Raiders, and I love the Gardner Minshew experience, but they haven't been as good as they were last year with Aiden O'Connell down the stretch and Brandon Jacobs, and I think it's just a huge loss. That said, like I just didn't think they had the firepower to go up against the Cleveland D,
no Devontae.
and yeah, yeah, I don't know. So
Look,
this one got me, but
but
yeah.
look, a big key in that game too was Amari Cooper had a big touchdown call back on a
Yeah,
hold that was a phantom holding call. There was no, I watched replays of it. There was nothing. And I mean, that's the game right there. That's the cover. That's the win for the Browns and cover. So, I mean, look, that's the way it goes sometimes. I don't like either of these teams though. And now Devontae Adams is on the trading block. There's some drama there with
I
the
still like the Browns because Chubb could come back, and then you get the ball out of Deshaun's hands as much as possible with that defense and those receivers. Like I would love a play action offense with Deshaun, but they just don't have Jerome Ford doesn't scare anybody. He's not, changing, linebackers levels or eyes or anything like that. And it is what it is. But the refs are always undefeated. They're the one thing you can't game plan on. You can call it the refs, you can call it mistakes by the team that you're betting on, but in this instance, it was literally just the ref saying that was too good of a play.
yeah.
Let's take that back. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yes, yeah, didn't like it. But so that was your one loss. My second loss, Eagle. Man, I Buccaneers 33, Eagles 16. I was banking. I mean, it was Eagles money line was even money. I just I was like, I'm taking the Eagles here. They can't be this bad, but lo and behold, they look bad.
They are.
I'm not
Yeah.
talking about this game, but that was a rough look. If I'm an Eagles fan, look, they're already trying to get Sirianni out. That seat's getting hotter. We said that last week. It's going to keep getting hotter, and
Yeah.
Exactly what's happening.
You got out coached by Todd Bowles and Hurts got out quarterbacked by Baker Mayfield. Like,
Yeah.
no offense, but like that's pretty shitty. Like that's pretty bad. And I love the Bucks going forward. I also do love the Eagles going forward. They need that click and they just haven't had it yet. And I think they're being, like you said, I think they're being held back by Sirianni's aggressiveness. They're in games that, they it could go either way. So this one didn't, but we'll see. I think that the Eagles will be okay.
Yeah.
Um,
AJ Brown will help them when he comes back.
Hopefully. Well, I don't know. Let's go Commanders.
Hey man, yeah, dude, your Manders. We didn't take them, but we should start hammering the Manders probably every week. Your brother messaged the Sports Clash and said, "Why aren't we hammering the Manders every week?" He's got a point. He's got a
He's a
point.
big Commanders fan too. But yeah, no, I once you start thinking that way, I feel like that's when you need to start looking a little bit harder and being like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're looking good now.
All right, so that was Sunday. On to Monday night. I'm enjoying these Monday night double headers because I feel like you're almost guaranteed at least one good game. And that's what happened this Monday night. You had one just completely awful game. I didn't even watch it. Titans 31, Dolphins 12. I messaged you earlier in the day and I was like, kind of like the Dolphins here. You were like, nope. It's like, yeah, you're right. So we did not take the Dolphins, and
It
thank
did not.
God. I,
Couldn't have agreed.
I was thinking about some Huntley rushing props that would have hit, but I didn't have enough confidence in it. And I mean, the Dolphins 1-3, and they're in shambles right now. The Titans are what they are, but both of those teams 1-3, not going anywhere. Didn't really watch the game because I was focused on what we did post and pick on SoBet, and that was Lions -4 and Lions 42, Seahawks 29. Man, that was fun. That was a fun game to watch. It was back and forth. The Lions offense was unstoppable. Jared Goff had a perfect game, which you do not see.
Not in the NFL, no, not at all.
He was 18 for 18. So I mean, but 18 for 18, 292 yards and two touchdowns. They were big plays left and right. Jameer Gibbs and Dave Montgomery were breaking off big runs. Jameson Williams,
So good.
enormous touchdown catch. Dan Laporta was having big plays. Amon Ra is just so good, so steady. This was when I bet on the Lions. I said this is what the Lions can do at home. It's exactly what they did, and they needed to because the Seahawks offense looked unbelievable. Geno Smith, 38 for 56, 395 yards and a touchdown. And Ken Walker was back, and he was back with a vengeance. I did not think he would be this involved or look this good coming off the injury. But wow, I mean, 80 yards on 12 carries and three touchdowns helped me come back in our fantasy matchup in the league we're in together. And DK had a great game. Both of these offenses look really good. I may have to give a little bit more respect to the Seahawks moving forward because I keep seeing anytime I see Geno Smith, I'm like, no, I don't know. And no Pete Carroll anymore. But hey, they look good. They're 3-1 too. But this was the Lions being the Lions, and I want to see them. I want to see them do it this year. If the Jets don't win, I'm a Lions or a Manders fan for sure. And Jane Daniels been fun, but
You could be a lot.
oh yeah, I mean, what's not to like about Jane Daniels? But man, the Lions are fun.
Yeah, no, this was a good call by you. I am just blinded by the Seahawks and Pete Carroll's rah-rah former self on the sidelines. And I don't know. I just love the Seahawks. I don't have the Geno Smith bias. I love Jackson Smith and Jigba. And they did everything I thought they were going to do. The Lions just they're just better. They're just a better team. And they have just as many toys and probably a more aggressive head coach and probably a more aggressive and better quarterback as well. And that's probably the difference. But yeah, no, there's a lot of scoring in this game. Ken Walker with 3 touchdowns, just awesome. The guy's just a beast until he gets hurt the next time. It's like every 3 weeks or so he gets hurt. But yeah, no, big game from him, but well done on the Lions pick. While I was leaning Titans, I was also leaning Seahawks, and you were like, nah, I got this. Hold my beer.
I
So
was I was leaning Dolphins, but I was not confident in that one. But I was leaning Lions, and I was confident in that one. And um, that was a nice win Monday night. That was the only play. I didn't mess with any props either. It would have been a good game for props with all the
for
scoring.
sure.
Um, Still fun one. Just went heavy on the Lions, and it was a nice easy win. That extended our winning streak to three. Today we extended it to four with MLB. And now we go into Thursday night football where we are 4-0 against the spread. Thursday night football picks. People are going to want to pay attention to this. We know what we're talking about. Thursday night, baby. Tampa Bay at Atlanta. It's Atlanta favored by 1.5. The over-under is 43.5. Atlanta's minus 125 on the money line. Chris, how you feeling on this one?
Oh, dude, I love this game. I might be an AFC South fan or NFC South fan. I mean, dude, the Saints, Falcons, Buccaneers, like I don't really want to pick against any of them. And when they play each other, like I'm excited about those games. Getting Kirk Cousins against Baker Mayfield is like the ultimate like tier two quarterback matchup. And you just, it's really hard to pick. It's really hard to pick. Atlanta's at home and the home teams have been doing pretty well recently. But I mean, man, Tampa Bay was rolling and they destroyed the Eagles. And if as long as they're healthy on defense, you got Vita Vea and you can get the ball back and stop the run. Like the receivers are scary over there. Evans had a touchdown this past week, and Godwin has just been a monster. But it all starts with Baker Mayfield, and it's the same thing I think on the other side with Atlanta, and it all starts with Kirk Cousins. So to me, this is a pick 'em, and that's why the spread's minus 1.5. I personally lean Bucks, but they seem like they're going like this, up and down each week, and maybe after the high of last week they fall short here. But Bijan's been great. He's been involved in this offense a lot more than last year, and the Falcons, as long as they don't turn the ball over, I think will be okay. Um, but I don't know. I love both these teams. I'd probably lean Buccaneers, but they're a road team and an underdog, so. What say you? What's your initial lean on this?
It's tight. These are not too, I mean, look, this is fun as hell. Like Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield. That's gonna be fun to watch. Um, I don't know what to think about the Bucks. I think I have a better feel on the Falcons. I just, but I can't disparage Baker. He's looked unbelievable, and like you said,
He's
I
still
mean,
Baker though.
he is. But I mean, what's he doing right now? They're he's almost got 1,000 yards already. 8 touchdowns, 2 picks. That's incredible. Kirk is 4 touchdowns, 4 picks. I love Bijan. Um, you know that he's been good, but he hasn't really gotten it going as much as I'd like to see. And it's getting
Yeah.
to that point now where, 4 games post Arthur Smith era, and I was hoping to see more, and I haven't yet. I might want to take the Bucks on the money line for the money here. Um,
1 point game.
yeah, it's 1.5. The spread. The Falcons are minus one. Yeah, Bucks are plus 110 on the money line on FanDuel as of right now. That might be the play. I don't know. You want to take the 1.5 on to just give me that cushion because it's gonna be. Look, I like it's a pick 'em for a reason. I think it'll be a tight one. This is the first Thursday night game where I don't have confidence going in. That I'm gonna be
Good.
totally honest with you. I have honestly like felt confident in all my Thursday night picks so far, starting with the Chiefs in the opener, and then the Giants last week. I don't know what it was. It's just division game. It just felt right.
Your wife. Yeah.
Um, and that's look, we're 4-0 against the spread. It's on the line here. We're gonna talk a little more. It's Tuesday night, so things can change.
Falcons home.
I know
Two and
Falcons.
two need the win.
I know.
Veteran presence.
You're
Rookie sense or sophomore sensation.
talking me into the
I'm
Falcons.
confusing you more. Yeah, I know.
It's gonna be a feel on Thursday. We're gonna have to talk a little more. I
Let's
I
see if it moves too.
yeah, it might. Uh yeah, you might just talk me into Falcons -1.5, honestly. I like that narrative, the 2-2 at home.
Yeah, not Arthur Smith. They
Arthur,
need the win. The Buccaneers are riding high. They're coming off a big game. They're not at home. They're traveling to a rival. You don't know. You don't know. I may lean Falcons, actually. I'm gonna just talk myself into it
I
too.
think we're talking ourselves into Falcons -1.5.
Let's go Falcon dogs.
I mean, come on, they are for Kirk Cousins. I
I
think
have a
it's
hat.
going. I know. I mean, Darnell Mooney's look good too. Drake London's a good receiver.
Yes.
They have the weapons on offense. They have solid defense. Both of these teams are similar. Uh, yeah. I'm leaning Falcons -1.5 too. Well, our picks will be on so bad. We'll probably have some props as well, but our main play will be on TikTok and on our socials, like it has been every week. So be on the lookout. We'll have it out Thursday, probably afternoon, but should be a fun one. I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be pretty locked into that game. That'll be good. I'm very pumped. I think I have a lot of fantasy players in that too, to be honest. Bijan, Baker, Godwin, just everywhere. Just so many guys.
I don't think I have
Ton of dudes.
Darnell Mooney. I don't think I have any. No, I have Mike Evans in one league.
There you go.
I have too many. Four teams is too many. I don't. I
Two
need
spread thin.
three. The three was the sweet spot, and I ruined it. Um, but we all have our teams that we focus on more too. I mean, we have our league or from home that we've been in for a long time. Um, that's where you have Bijan. I don't think
Yes.
I have anybody in this game in that league.
That's where I have Worthy too with Rice going down. And yeah, I don't know. My team's
I
B-listers.
have Rice, so yeah, fuck you. I gotta figure out waivers run. I actually gotta put in my claims for the end of the night. I got some
I'll see you in 20 minutes.
my eye on some. Yeah, so we'll see. Initial lean sounds like it's Falcons as we talk through it, but picks will be out on Thursday. So man, it's fun. I mean, football full swing, playoff baseball, hockey and NBA are starting. There's a lot to talk about. Let's let's do it. Let's go in to everybody's favorite, the good, the bad, and the shitty. Chris, I want you to start us off. What do you got?
Well, we talked about them at the beginning of the show. I'm going to go with the Mets. The Mets are my good, and it's been surprising to me. And like I said, we laughed at some of the, things early in the season and the Winker trade and whatnot. But when you get a group of guys that play baseball together and play connected baseball, it's just different. And it was a lot of fun watching them on that doubleheader or listening to them on that doubleheader yesterday and kind of seeing this stretch run happen while being in New York. I think Mets fans deserve it. I think this team on the field deserves it because nobody gave them a fair shake, and they were just kind of waiting for next year. And this team said, "No, no, no, we're gonna play." And there's a bunch of pitchers who are a little bit older, maybe in the twilight of their career on this team, and a bunch of hitters that are young, just starting out. So they're fun to watch. And the game against Atlanta they earned everything that they got. And I hope they have a decent playoff run, and they do pretty well because like I said, it's just a fun team to watch. And when you watch baseball players having fun, you have more fun watching baseball. And it's pretty cool. So go Mets, go orange in October. Mets, Tigers, Astros, Orioles. There's a lot of orange out there.
Too much orange.
Yeah.
Not a fan,
Love it.
really.
But the
Yeah.
Mets are my good. And sorry about my earlier comments. Who's your good?
Oh, hey, I mean, props to the Mets. I was telling you this before, I was listening to the fan. It was fun. Just hearing a live reaction. It's you're in New York, New Jersey area. You feel the vibes. When the Knicks were rolling this year, it was fun. When the Jets and Giants are both good, it's fun. I don't know if that's the case this year. Um, but you just kind of feel that excitement. I was even rooting for the Rangers for a point, although I was fine when they lost. I don't like the Rangers, obviously. But just the vibe. It was for that. It was the Rangers and Knicks at the Garden at the same time, and I was kind of like, it was like this is pushing the Knicks, so keep pushing. Um,
Right.
but it's just that the excitement is fun. So I'm all
Vibes, baby.
I'm all for it. Subway Series would be insane. I know you don't want that, but
Hell no. I got to commute to work.
would be a mess. But yeah, it's good. It's fun. It's fun for the city, and we've ripped the Mets a lot, sometimes deservedly so, but props to them. We'll see if they keep it going. My good, I almost gave it to Tarek Skubal again, because he went out and won us some money today on Tigers' first five, and he beat the Astros, and that is fucking awesome. And he is just unbelievable. Pitching Cy Young. I mean, he's going to win the Cy Young, win the pitching Triple Crown. Unbelievable. But I got to give this good to my Knicks. And it's a trade that I'm still processing. And I it hurt because Dante DiVincenzo had an unbelievable season for the Knicks last year. Julius Randle has been a great Knick for a couple of years now, and I was excited to see how those two would fit in with Bridges and Brunson and Hart and this whole team. And then over Knicks, they had it all going, but Randle and DiVincenzo were gone. And Carl Anthony Towns is a New York Knick, and this is a insane trade, but this is a trade that I'm giving it my good because man, I you look at that starting lineup now, and that's exciting just to see those names out there now with Jalen Brunson, who became an MVP candidate last year. It was just so much fun to watch. He was one of the best players in the NBA, and he is the heart and soul of the Knicks. They have the Nova vibe still going. Yes, Dante's gone, but you brought in Michael Bridges, who this kid's got all the talent in the world. I don't think he was happy with the Nets, and I'm excited to see him work with Brunson. A healthy OG Anunoby at the three if he is healthy. I mean, when he was healthy last year, the Knicks were unbeatable. I think they only lost two games with him healthy. It was incredible. He's the reason that him getting hurt was the reason that they lost last year. Just
Yeah.
phenomenal. You're probably going to have Hart at the four, backed up by Precious Achua, and then at center, Carl Anthony Towns with Mitchell Robinson hurt again, not going to be back till December at the earliest. That's a legitimate starting five that can win you games. And I knocked the Celtics at the beginning of last year for not having enough depth, but I've realized, and the Celtics proved it last year, just if you have that starting five and they're healthy and rolling, you don't need the depth. You only need one or two guys coming off the bench. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm very excited. That's a superstar. I mean, Brunson,
Yeah.
Bridges, Cat, Anunoby, that's a big four right there. I mean, look, maybe you don't want to put Anunoby in that, whatever. But I mean, Josh Hart, literally the heart and soul. Nobody plays harder than that man. All over the
Yeah.
floor. Played more time than anybody in the league last year. I'm excited about it.
Match up a little bit better with Embiid too. And I think the Wolves got better too with the trade. I think at least they feel that way. You get Vincenzo, somebody that can drive and kick too, and you clear out the middle so that he can actually drive. And you get another guy like Julius Randle who can bring the ball up and drive as well from the 3-point line. So I think both teams benefit, but ultimately the Knicks put themselves in a better position to win now. And like you said, you don't need that many people coming off the bench. They kind of band-aided the rotation or put together a giant rotation rather than have like a great starting five last year. And now they just have that great starting five. And I just wish you guys all the health so that you can get all the happiness and all the happy returns on this. So worst thing would be an injury.
Yeah. And look, that's it, man. That scares you. But look, there's only so much you can do about that. The bottom line is if they're healthy, they have the depth, they have the talent, starting five to compete with anybody and beat anybody. So should be a fun year. Um, I'll keep us rolling with my bad. And my bad is Von Miller, suspended 4 games, allegations of assaulting his pregnant girlfriend. It's and this isn't the first time. I don't think. the first time Von Miller's been suspended. The other one might have been for steroids. Yeah, 6 game suspension for performance enhancing drugs. He's had his issues. Like it's weird because he had that good guy persona for so long, but things are coming out and it's not looking good. He's standing by this fact these allegations are false, and there's only so much you can do until he's convicted of things. But that's just it's a blow for the Bills because Von Miller still at his age is still high performing linebacker. But it's a bad look and another bad look for the NFL.
Yes, thanks for the Bills right now too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
All right.
Um,
Not too bad.
my bad is Mike McDaniels, head coach of the Miami Dolphins. I don't want to pick on him or anything, but at the end of the day, he was kind of a suspect character to begin with, moving into a head coaching role. And now that his guys are getting hurt and things aren't working, I feel like is being a little bit exposed. He's, I think a likable guy, but ultimately, probably a guy you might lose a little bit of faith in because he's not your prototypical head coach. He never played the game. Like he's kind of a student of the game and everything. But at the end of the day, the Dolphins invested a lot in Tua, and to lose him sucks. But now it's going to come down to some coaching. And I like McDaniels, but I don't know that he has it all there or he's all with it there. And, I think they could turn this around. They have enough talent to do so. And he's kind of just been the victim of losing a quarterback made of glass. But they were booing him. And I think it was well deserved. Miami Dolphins have been through a lot to sit there and wait for somebody to turn the ship around. And they had so much success last year that I think it's just kind of a little bit of a fall from grace for Mike McDaniels. But um, yeah, offense doesn't look like it did last year. And it is partially the quarterback, but even when Tua was in there, it wasn't the best. So my bad goes to Mike McDaniel. He's not shitty yet. I still love him. But I think he's a guy that could lose faith pretty quickly, and I think he already has.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, student of the game. Um, he's a great offensive mind. There's no doubting that. There's only
Right.
you could do with Tyler Huntley as your quarterback. He, his personality is very sarcastic. He jokes a lot, and that's
Right.
all well and good when you're winning. But I said this when he first came in and was winning. It's like, how is this going to look when you start losing? And he cracked some jokes at the end of the game the other night. Said, that wasn't how it was looked in practice. He's funny. I mean, there's no denying that. And he's
Yeah.
doing as an offensive mind. But my buddy Ryan, who's a Dolphins fan, made a good point. His style of offense, there's only a handful of quarterbacks who can run that. Tua was one, and he was a nice fit. And when he went down, you can't just plug and play another quarterback there. It's a struggle. So they're gonna have to make a move. If Tua's not coming back anytime soon, they're gonna have to find a quarterback who they think is a good fit there. But yeah, the honeymoon's over for McDaniel for sure.
I agree. This is make or break time. So he gets my bad. Um, can I keep us going with the shitty?
Still,
So sad day. Pete Rose passed away. To me, my shitty is going to be the fact that the man never saw the Hall of Fame, and never got the credit that he deserved for being the hit king in baseball. It's extremely hard to do, and for what he was ostracized for was completely outside of his talent within the game. It was while he was a manager. I get it, it's bad, but he lived to see the day and age where we're sitting here talking on a podcast about, betting units on things, and it's free and public, and even ESPN pushes it on, TV. They used to talk about it like tongue in cheek back in the day. Vegas picks this team or whatever. So to me, I think it's sad that ultimately he passed. I think a little bit earlier than maybe I expected. I didn't realize how old he was, to be honest. He's 83 years old, but the guy's far and beyond the best hitter in baseball. And I just think with the steroid era that happened and now the rise of gambling in sports, you can't gamble on your own team. But Calvin Ridley's out there playing, and this man's not playing, managing. He's not living anymore, but he should have been in the hall before he passed away. And I think it's just sad. And I think it was more of a grudge with the previous commissioners than anything, and more a testament to how brash he was and things like that. But take that out of it and put the man in the Hall of Fame right away. because he deserves it. And I just think it's sad that this had to happen for anybody to even think about it. But it is what it is. You can't do that. You can't wrong the game. But like I said, you've got guys out there in the locker room placing bets and then getting suspended for a year and coming back, whatever. So sad. It's sad. But RIP Pete Rose, the hit king, and I don't think anybody will ever get there. If Ichiro didn't, I don't think anybody will ever get there.
No, that is safe for sure. And yeah, RIP to Pete Rose. It's like you can make a good point, like with Ridley and these guys, like it's a different world now. He probably should have gotten a second shot, probably should have saw the hall, but sad story. RIP.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I'll finish us off on I guess a lighter note, but my shitty is Nathaniel Hackett. And man, those poor Jets fans who went to MetLife on a cold and rainy Sunday, watched their team not score a touchdown um, after such a dominant win against the Patriots the previous Thursday. And you had a long week to prepare for a rookie quarterback. And the defense was fine, but Hackett's offense is a joke. And the only reason this offense looks good at all at any time is because of Aaron Rodgers and his ability to read defenses and call and fly and his arm. But I don't know what we're doing here. I mean, how do Brees Hall and Garrett Wilson look so bad? Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah, look, it was a cold, rainy day. You could use that as an excuse. It's the NFL. You're gonna have these games. But Nathaniel Hackett, I think, has shown now the past few years he doesn't know what he's doing. The Jets brought him in to lure Aaron Rodgers in, and I guess it worked. But man, get rid of him. Just let Rodgers run the offense. I don't even know what to do here. He adds nothing to the team. He looks like a moron. I don't like his face, and I want him off the team, off the sidelines. So Daniel Hackett, I'm bad. I'm mad. I even defended him last year with the whole Sean Payton thing. I still think Sean Payton's a dick, but Hackett, get
He's
out of here.
right.
You're my shitty.
Yeah.
Sad
Yeah.
stupid Jets.
Yeah, I agree. But they'll be fine as long as they have A-Rod, right? As long as there's an A-Rod in New York. Aaron Rodgers is, he's good. He's just, I don't know. I don't know. Didn't
Yeah.
work today, or
No.
didn't work this week.
Yeah, no. As long as there's an A-Rod on drugs in New York, things could work. So. Thanks,
Nice. Well said.
man. Thanks, man. All right. Anything else you want to touch on?
No, just pumped for football, pumped for the sports nexus and everything that's happening right now.
All coming together.
Excited. There's always something on TV. It's great.
It's so much fun. College football as well. NHL and NBA starting up. Hell, WNBA playoffs. The Liberty. The Liberty, you're gonna take down the
New
Aces,
York.
make it to the finals, and I'm gonna be into it. Oh wow, actually, right as we speak, the Liberty are up by two, 10 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Wow. They could take a 2-0 lead. So this is the semis, and it's only a 5 game set. So the Liberty could take a commanding 2-0 lead. Winner goes to the finals. Be fun. I mean, hey, let the Liberty bring a championship to New York and then start the floodgates. Get the floodgates open here. Then the Yankees will follow suit and the Jets. It's gonna be phenomenal. It's gonna be a phenomenal few months for me. And yeah, we're gonna keep winning on SoBet. We're gonna keep making our picks, having fun, doing the show, man. It's just been so much fun. The fact that we're consistent and keeping it going is awesome. And yeah, I mean, everybody here who's following us, listening, watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify, wherever, we thank you. Follow us at the Sports Clash, all our socials. TikTok, we're really making some headway there. It's fun. So bet, support us. Follow the link in the description. Join up. We really appreciate it. And like I said, I mean, we're helping people win. So It's fun, and we're going to keep it up through what should be a very fun October.
Woo!
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you listening, and we'll see you soon. Good night.